3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we're here for the mid-month podcast. This month, we're talking about part of Fitness in 100 Words. So if you don't know what that is, it's CrossFit's definition of fitness. We actually have it on the wall here at the gym. We tend to start with the beginning of it, talks a lot about nutrition. The middle of it's about what we do in the gym. But there's this little line at the bottom that I think is kind of forgotten that I wanted to just highlight the why behind it this month. So that line is regularly learn and play new sports.
So really it's about like allowing all these things that we do in here to make life more fun,
Fuller.
Essentially. Yeah. And live life to the fullest and having we're not restricted by our physical fitness, but like learn and play new sports, do new things, like enjoy life essentially.
Yeah, so this came to mind for me because podcasts that I listened to, they were interviewing a gym owner and he talks about why he closes on the holidays. And he is like, he gives Thanksgiving as the example. He's like, I close on Thanksgiving because like, I want you to go live your life. Like the whole point of you coming here is so you can go have a fuller, more active life. So on the holidays, like go run a 5K with your family, go. So that just, and I like spending the holidays with you guys. So don't worry, we're still here for the turkey throwdown on Thanksgiving morning. But I do think that there's something to that of like seeing the benefits of what you're doing in this hour outside applied somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, and I think like one of the biggest things is, and by doing that, sometimes we get so lost up in having to make it. And I don't want to say that doesn't mean don't come to the hour of the gym, but like just because you didn't make it here doesn't mean like all is lost and nothing works. So sometimes, especially in the beginning part, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, we get like almost addicted to the intensity, and then that intensity can lead to multiple bad things, right? It can lead to like change in hormone, adrenal fatigue. It can lead to injury. It can lead to just general burnout. For sure. So sometimes we get addicted to that intensity, and then we don't feel if it's not that intense that we didn't do enough. And then we like almost judge everything we do on if I'm breathing to this point of like falling on the ground. And you can only handle that so long over time. So the biggest thing is like, for me being now, I think I started in 2012, so 13 years, right? Mm-hmm. Yep, 13 years into it. It's like, how can I maintain this? And a lot of it has become finding like this balance, riding the different seasons in my life and the gym's life, right? Because it's changed over the last 11, 12 years. And I think adding in these learning and playing new sports and adding in little elements of that has really helped me. Like, I always joke, like, I'm in it for the long haul. Like, you might beat me today, but I'm literally going to be doing a similar thing.
Kicking ass in my 90s.
Yeah, I'm going to beat you, right? And I'm confident in that. So that's just because I've built a level of awareness of like fatigue and like kind of like losing interest in like just the ups and downs of it over a course of time.
Yeah, I think like I'm 11 years in, and this is probably the one like physical venture in life that I haven't burnt out on. Mm-hmm. But I think part of the reason being is instead of taking, like you've kind of ventured off into jujitsu, like right now it's running this marathon, like you've taken these kind of like side tracks as a super active person, where like I never saw myself as an athlete. Mm-hmm. So my side tracks tend to be more in like academic or career or things like that. So
I wrote a book.
Yeah, you wrote a book. I know.
Academic.
But I think about like my time in the gym being a dial. Like right now I'm at a 10. I'm like trying to go to semis, like training more often, where like there have been seasons of life where like I was lucky to get in 3 times a week because my career was at a 10 And this was at a 1. And thinking about like, what is a 1 for me? And that idea of something is better than nothing. Like I can't turn this off. I can't pause it. My health is going to continue to be what it's going to be. So what does that look like to dial it up, dial it down, to take these sidebars into jujitsu or running or whatever, to maintain interest over time?
And and kind of I'm always like our core values are very much like a part of me, right? Like the biggest part of me is being driven for the growth. And that has really led to a lot of the different things that normally I read something or I listen to people that I aspire to be like, right? So like, I always joke, I listen to Jason Khalipa's podcast.
I knew you were going to say it.
But I'm like a shitty like Division 4 version of him, right? He like owns a gym, super successful, an app that's transformed, that kind of developed during COVID because he was in California where like everything was shut down. He competed at the games, won the games, is a dad. His daughter's gone through some crazy stuff with cancer and all of that. So he's like the dad, the business owner, the competitive guy, and he's kind of like evolved over time. And he's like into jujitsu and stuff like that. So listening to him and how he's kept it balanced has like kind of struck my interest of like how he trains now as a dad. What's important to him is very important to me. So like, can I protect my family, provide for my family? And then am I always ready? So that's kind of like what has like ventured, kind of like help me get to the path where I'm at. And that path is, again, it's like ebbs and flows of forever changing. And right now it happens to be, I felt like I was getting not super comfortable in life because I'm not always that comfortable, but I had like a free minute where I was like, you know what? You haven't done anything challenging. And if you've ever read
Comfort Crisis,
it's like something that you're not sure if you can finish. And I was like, well, shit, what is that, right? And I've done multiple half marathons. So I'm like, what would be awful? And every one of the half marathons, I started out like, you know what? If I felt good, I could continue on. And like that halfway mark, I'm like, no
I'm done.
effing way am I going to make that. So I'm like, it's literally to me, I'm like, and I've had some injuries from racing motorcycles over the years. So I'm like, man, I just don't know if I can take the pounding for that long. So I'm like, what would be awful? That's awful. And I'm here for it.
When I think like setting those, and we talked about that a little bit too, like setting those goals can keep you motivated, keep you growing, keep you getting uncomfortable. And I think about like the first time I did a individual competition, I was like, oh, that's a whole new level of pressure because I can't like
pass it off
to a teammate. Yeah, and like it's just you. I think about like Katie Heron's super motivated by this. Like she signs up for DECA, she signs up for because she knows herself to know like I need something on the calendar that I'm working towards. And those like something on the calendars, those are steps towards what the bigger goal is, which might be kicking ass into your 90s, or it might be a weight loss goal, or it might be a health goal, or whatever it is. But having those steps along those way are those like checkpoints of like, this is how I'm gonna check in. It's why we do the goals for the year. Of like, at the end of the year, what does it look like to have grown this year in here?
And I think it's super important. And like one of the main things that I wanted to kind of touch on today when I talked to Leah about this is like, why is signing up for something so valuable? And like, it gives you set a goal and it provides a date. And damn if that is not the most powerful thing to get you to help you meet your goals. Like, I'm cool with the, hey, 2025, like, what's my goal for the year? But I would also be like, the old SMART goals. Well, what are you doing today that's going to
get you there, though?
And it should simply be a yes or a no, right? So for the marathon, it's like, hey, it's a date, like, mother effer, like,
I got to run.
The 4th of May, like, you got to get there. And so it makes it, like right now, if I want to save $5,000 for this, like, set a date for that. And if you're not there, then, like, setting that hard line and that date or signing up really like ups the level of accountability. Is
Yeah.
that 10 minutes on there?
That was 10 minutes.
But I want to hit one more thing on that. So the date, super important. So anything in life, set a freaking date, right? And then ask yourself, what can I do today to help get me closer to that?
Yeah.
Okay, did I move and work out today? And then the last part of that is like, I always try new things because in every one of those things, I learn something. And sometimes it's about myself, my level of discipline, my level of commitment, about my body, right? It's like this marathon.
My weaknesses, my strengths.
So on and so forth of what I can do. And I can always relate it to something else in life that teaches me something. Whether it's my willingness to suffer, which was all about what the marathon's for. But then I did competitive weightlifting where it's like you on a platform, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than like you got 30 seconds to lift, it's dead ass quiet and everybody's watching you.
So it's like your ability to like
focus,
calm and focus in those moments of like nerves.
Yeah. And it helped teach me from a coaching a level of weightlifting because I had a specific coach for it. And then like it also teaches me like I ran a long run the other day and I snatched the following day. Why did I snatch? Because normally people would come in and be like, oh, I have to stretch a ton. I'm like, okay, you can stretch for 15 minutes, but what movement do I have to stretch everything freaking possible in order
to be able to get into it?
My ankles, calves, like you snatch.
But
My
you also
hips,
got to think
you
like
snatch.
the pushing, the bounding, of the running, but you were doing like long endurance running versus like the short explosivity. Pull heavy,
and
like there couldn't be two more opposite things. So to put those two things back to back is like your body was a-okay to do that.
And that was like the coach like geeking me is like, all right, I did this single movement, long duration, low intensity. Like, let's get in some explosive lifting.
Yeah.
And it also stretches shit out of me and helped me get into position. So it's like,
doesn't seem like they went hand in hand if you're just
damn if
watching
they-
social media, but you're like, no, two more perfect things couldn't be coupled together. I also think like the last thing that I wanted to say was the values, like those values are very, like we came up with those with Crystal together, and I think that there are some that are so you and there are some that are so me. All four of them speak to me, but passion for others, like serving others, that is like mine hands down. So when I think about like why it's important to learn and play new sports, I think about like a dad playing pickup basketball with other dads. And these other dads are like the guys that just like sit and they're like, oh, well, the kids are playing sports. I can't do that anymore. I did that back in my day. And they're not taking care of themselves. But if you have the dad that CrossFits, who goes plays pickup basketball with them, all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit.
what's he doing?
What's he doing? And so that person's ability to impact these others and say, hey, like, it doesn't matter that you're in your 40s and you're busy and blah, blah, blah. Like, you can still take care of yourself. So this is more fun. So you don't come out here and pull a hamstring. Yeah, so you can, like, actually enjoy, you know, like, your own physical pursuits as you age. So so I think about that, too.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of where I'm at now. It's like I'm 43, and I joked with Maddie and Crystal the other day. I'm like, Maddie joked like, who's going to carry the boats? Like I almost yelled that out the window as she saw me running. But it's not even really kind of about that, but it kind of is about that. It's like that standard. Like I want to raise the standard of what being a dad is. And like this is what 43 is. And it kind of like juices me up that other people don't want to do that.
Oh, I freaking love it.
And like where I'm at now, it's like, hey, and I'm setting the example of like for my kids, other people, and then I can share with them my experiences. Then if somebody runs a marathon, hey, this is what worked for me. Hey, Olympic weightlifting, this is what worked for me. CrossFit competition, here's what worked for me. I'll probably do a high rocks at some point, maybe. Here's what worked for me, right? It's like I can add so much value to our gym members by experiencing these new things. And when you do that, you sign up for something, you compete, you can share that with your kids, your friends, whatever. And it's like always ready. Like, what do you want to do today? Do you want to go do a 10K, whatever, walk, ruck?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, when I'm like 70, you ask me to canoe, I'm like, who's carrying the boats?
Literally, who's carrying the boat? Can we just paddle the boat?
Yeah. All right, so that brings us to the end of this week. We kept it like roughly around 10 minutes. So next week, I'll be meeting with Katie Herron, and we're going to do our athlete interview. If you ever have any ideas for things that you'd like to hear us or other trainers or other people talk about on the mid-month kind of conversation, please share, because I usually, like I said, this one kind of just came to me from a podcast, or like it maybe comes from conversations that we have, or something that happens with the member in here. I'm like, that gets my wheels turning. So, but always share if there's something you want to hear.
So with that being said, what are you doing? What's your goal? And what's the date for it? So if you get anything out of this, like, what are you doing? What's your goal? And set a date, right?
And then let's work backwards from there to come up with a plan.
Reverse engineer of how to get, and that's all I did.
Yep.
Right? May 5th, I'm like, oh shit, I got 7 weeks. Cram it in, figure it out.
Yeah.
Here we are, and I'm kind of like adapting as I go. But
cool.
Make
Awesome.
a goal, set a date, crush it. Boom.
Go team.